So today I'm going to continue on with my series based on Loki, and I am actually going to talk about Loki himself, the god of mischief, and specifically how Loki died. Well, he's technically he hasn't died yet, but just gonna talk about that. Um, if you know anything about the Marvel movies or the Marvel comics, he dies a bunch of times. But I'm just gonna talk about how in actual Norse mythology how that happens. So yeah, let's get right into it. Well, Loki is kind of responsible for killing this other god called Baldur. And he gets caught and he gets punished for it. And the way he does get punished is he is trapped in a cave. He is imprisoned there and he has to spend there the rest of his life. Now, his son Vali actually is transformed into a wolf because of something. I don't really know the exact details. And he is actually transformed into a wolf. And now the details, I don't know the exact details, but he kills Nardi, which is not like his half brother, Vali's half brother, and uses Nardi's entrails and insides to tie up Loki. So just think about that for a second. You have Loki hanging in a cave, right? And suddenly someone walks in and says, "Okay, we're gonna tie you up with this." Loki would ask, "Okay, sure. What is it?" "Oh well, it's actually the entrails of your son." The entrails of what? Yeah. It's the entrails of your son, who got killed by a wolf, who's also your son, not Fenrir, Vali. So yes, we're tying you up with this. So that happened, and then he was tied up and hanged from the top of the cave, I guess. Then a poisonous snake was put on the rock on top of where Loki was by a goddess whose name I've forgotten. And the objective is that the venom would drip down and eventually fall into Loki's mouth and kill him. But his wife, Loki's wife, Sigrid, no, Sigrid, yes, maybe. I don't know the name. Anyway, Loki's wife, she sits next to him, and despite Loki being responsible for the death of two of their sons or whatever, for the death of at least one of their children, and she still feels compassion for Loki and has a bow and puts it on top of Loki so the venom would fall there. Now, for the most part, she just sits there with him and waits until the bowl gets full. But like I said, that's for the most part. Once the bowl gets full, she has to, empty it somewhere, which she does. But during the meantime, during that time period in between, well, his wife getting the bowl and emptying it and coming back, Loki is exposed to the venom. And, well, he has to avoid it. The way he does this is by moving, shaking, just trying by all means to not let the venom fall into his mouth. And it is said in some places that this moving, this struggling, this trying to get rid of not get rid of trying to avoid the venom is what causes earthquakes on Midgard, Earth. Well, he would stay there until Ragnarok. He's there in the cave, and is just my hair is bothering me. Sorry. He's just there in the cave and is being trapped there. But then in Ragnarok, he manages to escape and goes on to fight Heimdall. They then fight for a while, but do not kill each other just yet. So it is said that Loki and Heimdall refuse to die until the nine, well, especially Loki, until the nine realms are destroyed. Once that happens, which it hasn't happened yet because we are one of the nine worlds, and as far as I can tell, we are very much still existing. Well, not until those nine worlds are destroyed, the Loki wouldn't die, and the Loki and Heimdall, when that happens, would fight again and kill each other. They would die at each other's hands. And that would be Loki's actual death. So yeah, that is Loki's death. I'm just gonna give a quick rundown because, first of all, I mean, it's kind of relevant because I'm basing it on this. And second of all, it is my YouTube channel, so I can really talk about anything I want. And third of all, it's Loki from the Marvel movies, and I am a huge fan girl, so I'm gonna talk about him. So I'm just gonna give you the 3.5 deaths Loki had. So, and then I'm actually gonna do a little summary of the actual death of Norse mythology, and then end the video. So, the first time he dies is in Thor, like the first Thor movie, and he actually falls off the Bifrost? Of the regular rainbow bridge, he falls into the worlds and stuff, and he dies there. He then comes back in Avengers, and he's fine. He gets captured, and then we go on to Thor: The Dark World. There, he is impaled through the chest by a sword of one of the dark elves, and he gets killed. We actually see him die. Thor does leave his body there, anyway, and then we just see at the end of that movie that Loki's actually alive and in Asgard. Then the third death, in Thor Ragnarok, actually survives. Third death, he dies in the first 5 minutes of Avengers Infinity War. He gets, his throat gets, and he gets not strangled, but asphyxiated by Thanos. So snaps his throat, neck, and actually kind of dies when Thor's hugging him. And then the fourth death, which is the one I say it's at a half. I mean, by the time I'm recording this, the 5th episode of Loki has yet to come out, and Loki's not dead. But last we saw him, he got pruned, he got kind of disappeared, he disintegrated at the TVA. So it's not a death, but maybe it is. Anyway, that's the Marvel movie death. And now, a quick summary on the actual death that I just said, just in case. Just putting it alongside the Marvel ones. Well, his death is him getting captured after the death of another god, getting hung in a cave with the entrails of his own son, and then having a snake put on top of him, dripping venom. And that goes on until Ragnarok, in which he escapes, fights Heimdall, but then doesn't die until the nine realms are destroyed. And then once that happens, which hasn't happened yet, he will die at the hands of Heimdall, but Heimdall will also die at the hands of Loki. And that is it. That is all the deaths, movies, and actual mythology all in one go. Of course, I mean, honestly, the mythology death is much more awesome. Because, I mean, the movie ones are fine. But, I mean, they're good. They're really interesting. I love the movies. He's one of my favorite characters. But the mythology one, come on, it involves him being tied up with the entrails of his own son and then having a snake dripping venom on him. It's one of the most interesting deaths I've heard about. And it's not even his death, he actually gets free of it and then kills, well, no, not kills, but kills and dies at the hands of Heimdall. Does that make sense? So yeah, that is it. I'm going to end the video there. It's a really quick video and I really didn't talk about much. I took a big chunk of time talking about Loki in the movies. But again, it's kind of relevant and also it's my channel, so If you have any suggestions in terms of Loki, I'm trying to keep this series up until the end of the show, which is next Wednesday. So, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it interesting. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.